Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivian, and in today's video I'm going to tell you how I started coding. So back in, I think that was in 2018, that was before COVID. I was looking for what to do, how to work from home, what sort of job I need to do, a legit job, a professional job that I needed to do that will keep me at home, that will make me spend more time with my kids and my family. At the time, I think I was lecturing twice a week, and I was commuting from Colchester, Essex, to London. On one fateful day, before that particular day, I was just thinking, what should I do? I need to do something that will keep me more at home. And I started looking at software testing, but it required that I learn Java, which at the time I didn't even know how to code. So it was a bit difficult for me. What I now did was I started looking at YouTube videos. I came across a lot of people talking about how they learned how to code, even people without a degree, college dropouts, they didn't have a degree, nothing. And I was just thinking, oh, look at me here, and I have a degree, and the job I'm doing, it's not even worth it because I wasn't getting a lot of money as a lecturer. It just comes with respect that you're a lecturer, but that financial aspect wasn't there. So I needed something that would give me more money and more time, not just the money bit, but at least more time with my family, because the issue I had with teaching was I'll come home, I'll bring work home, I'll give student feedback, I will mark, I'll second mark, I'll plan my lessons. And then I had two little children at the time. So it was a bit difficult for me to balance my work with my family life. So I thought to myself, why don't you do something that will make you stay more at home with the kids and also earn more? I then decided to look up these YouTube videos, and every time I was watching YouTube videos, and those videos were actually giving me some kind of encouragement that is something I can do even with the kids. Although my initial degree was not really in computing, but it was in science and computer education. And education is also teaching, so it was a bit difficult. I didn't have a lot of programming background. So, but then I went on to do my master's, and master's was in something else, which was in mobile telecommunications. So anyway, I thought, what should I do? I came across this particular video where one of the guys was talking about how he learned how to code and how he would take some time off. That I think he used to do some, is it pizza delivery or something? He used to do that, and whenever he was at work, he would just take time off and be learning how to code. And that was how he got a job as a software engineer or a software developer, and he was really earning well. So I was like, okay, why don't I look into learning how to code? Just thought, oh, am I actually ready to learn how to code now? I don't think. Let me just go and do something like AWS Solutions Architect. So I bought this Udemy video and I started doing AWS. It got to a point where they said I needed to know how to code. So it was like, oh my God, what should I do? I had no coding background, no programming. The programming I did many years ago was QBasic, and of course it's kind of useless. Anyway, on my way to work this particular day, I came across this lady, and I was having a chat with her. I realized that she read computer science, and she was just asking me about the university I was teaching, that she was looking to do her master's and all of that. And I told her what I was doing, that I was lecturer, and I used to teach computing students and all of that. And she said, oh, okay. So I said, well, I'm now looking to transit into the industry and work, that I was no longer interested in teaching, that I needed more time to spend with my family, because my teaching job, even though it was just 2 days a week, it was really telling on me. It was training me, it was stressing me out. The marking was something else, the student feedback, and I had two little kids, so it was kind of telling on me. So after speaking with her, she said she was a QA analyst, and she now advised, why don't you go and do business analysis? I looked it up and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I will do more research. But that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to learn just a bit of programming, just a bit. It's very difficult these days to, if you want to work from home under IT or any other, IT related course, and you don't have a programming background. It's kind of, it gives you more opportunity. Let me say so. It just gives you more opportunity. It opens more doors for you. At least know one programming language. So what I now did was, after having a chat with her, she said she was a QA analyst, and she said she was contracting. So I looked it up, software tester. testers or Q analysts, they are called as well. And she said it wasn't just the manual testing, it was both automation and, manual. So I'm like, okay, let me look it up. I think she was earning £650 a day. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm here transiting every day to London without, earning anywhere near that amount, even though I had respect as a lecturer, but the money wasn't really there for me, and the stress was too much. It was just something else I couldn't bear. I'm not by any means trying to say that lecturers don't earn well. I'm only saying that the contract I had at the time, and I was just doing 2 days a week, and the stress was too much, because later on I realized that if you're doing 2 days a week, sometimes you get to do more work than somebody that is doing, full time. I just thought to myself, why don't you learn how to program? First of all, I started doing Scrum Master training, and I got the certification, because what happened was I was teaching my student project management and Scrum. So from there, I developed an interest. When you now got to, Scrum has developers and, Scrum Master, product owner, and all of that. So I thought, okay, what do developers do? Let me see. And then from there, I started having an interest in coding. And then I looked up W3 schools. I started learning there. From there, I said, oh, I think HTML is kind of interesting, because I'm sort of a visual person. I like to see what I'm doing. And when I started doing HTML, it was so interesting. And then when I added CSS to it, I was like, wow, so this is how website is actually built. Okay, I think this is something I want to do. And then it now got to a point they wanted me to redesign the students' curriculum. They were going into different routes of study in the university, so they wanted me to redesign is a computing curriculum. I discussed with my manager that something that these students really needed in their curriculum was project management and web development, of course. So I looked up a few curriculums in other universities as well before I made that decision. So when she now looked at it, we had a meeting with a superior, and then they agreed that I bring in web development, just some surface, not deep web development. So from there, I started learning on my own and also teaching. I was learning, I was teaching. So what I now did, those videos I was watching on YouTube, they mentioned a lot about Free Code Camp, CodeSteel, Udemy. I also came across Mosh Samadini on YouTube. So I bought his course, although the course is on his personal website. Then I also bought CodeSteel from Udemy, and Angela Yu later released her course, which was really, really good. So Udemy courses, anyone that knows me, in fact, most people don't actually get to complete Udemy, but I started learning CodeSteel. I just took my time. I said, this CodeSteel, this course that everybody is talking about, I must learn it. So I started learning it, and I'll teach my students. They will go and practice in Free Code Camp. At the time, I completed the Free Code Camp curriculum, but I didn't build the project. That's the front end part. And then also, one of the videos also mentioned Team Treehouse. So I now subscribe to Team Treehouse, which was about £20 a month. So I started doing all of these courses, Team Treehouse, CodeSteel, but I enjoyed Team Treehouse because the other videos on Udemy, I would just watch them code. But Team Treehouse, nobody's sponsoring this video, by the way. So I'm not advertising anyone. I'm just telling you how I learned to code under 4 months. Something I forgot to mention, before I started, I was just envisaging the end. So I was saying that, okay, by this time, I started around June. So I was now saying that in 4 months, exactly 4 months, I need to be job ready. I need to be job ready. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I just need to be job ready. I need to start looking for job. I just need to be job ready. So after learning all these things, I realized that I needed to have projects. I needed to have projects to show in my portfolio, or like some sort of portfolio to show that I can do what I'm saying that I've learned. So I followed the Team Tree front-end development path, and then I started building some little projects. From there, I learned up to, I think, half 50% or thereabouts. I didn't finish the JavaScript, but I did finish the HTML and the CSS. I did finish those two, but the JavaScript I did not. I now jumped on to CodeSteel. From CodeSteel, because I had already gotten some JavaScript, some HTML and CSS knowledge previously I was just skipping to the parts that I really needed. So which was really JavaScript. So I went to JavaScript, which I also didn't finish by the way before I got a job. So I started building projects from Code Still. I think he had a few projects that I was just following. So what I did was, whilst I was doing my 2 days a week lecturing in London, I now got this ninth job, some sort of, not really like, I'll just go there. There's this lady, they said that she, young girl, very young girl. She's normal. She just had some sort of, issues, but she was independent. So I'll just go there. And then from there, I will take my computer. It's a kind of running away from home, So I'll take my computer there. I never did anything for her. I just go there. And when I go there, she said, Vivian, what are you doing here? Go home, man. I said, no, no, no. I'm here to, help you. She had a living person that was also looking after her. So I wasn't doing anything at all. So it gave me a lot of time to do my work while leaving the kids and, getting a calm environment to learn. So I followed Code Still course and I think I did about 5 or 6 of his projects. And then Angela Yu now released that course from Udemy. She's really, really a good teacher as well. So I followed her course to some extent. But because I had already gotten some of the knowledge from Team Treehouse, Code Steel, W3 Schools, and Free Code Camp, I was just skipping. I now built this project. By the way, how I knew that I needed to build projects. It wasn't just about JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I also learned Bootstrap, and I learned Bootstrap from Team Treehouse, which I think Code Steel also covered it, and Angela, you also did as well. But I learned most of it from Team Treehouse. I followed the project there. Then I also learned how to use Git, and I created a GitHub pages, which I hosted my project. This knowledge came about from Team Treehouse. When you follow the path, the front-end development or the JavaScript, full stack JavaScript development route, it just takes you through how to build a project and all of that. But I just wanted something different from what other students are building, because I was kind of skeptical about the project. Though the project gave me a very good grounding, like hitting off the ground to build something out of what I've learned. Well, at the end of the day, I combined it with some of the Costil's projects. But I was doubting myself. This thing they call imposter syndrome. I was having a lot of imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? Can I look for a job? Are these projects enough to get into the industry? But I just started looking for a job. At this time, I think I was around finishing very close to the 4th month. I did my CV. I wasn't sure how to do a proper CV for web development, but I was sure how to do proper CV for teaching and all of those lecturing and stuff. I did my CV, and all the jobs I applied for, no one called me. So I started calling them. I said, I can do this. Here is my project. Here is my portfolio of, projects that I've done. But immediately they see my CV, they don't come back. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Maybe something is wrong. I'm not doing it right. I was even ready to downgrade from my salary up to £10,000 because I was looking for a way to get into the industry, to learn how to, the actual coding, not what I was learning on my own, to have the practical aspect of it. So the very first interview I got was from an agency. They just called me up and they set up an interview. I was surprised I knew most of the things because I had already learned and I was teaching my students. I was learning on my own as well. I was told that I got the job. Actually, they said they were going to come back to me, but they really liked me and they were like, oh, how are you going to move down here? Telling me about the routes to get to work and where I will stay and things. And they really gave me hope. And I was thinking, okay, it's like I've gotten this job. But they never came back. So anyway, I continued learning. There was something in me telling me that I don't think I'm ready yet. I don't think I'm ready yet. You are not ready. You need to do more. So I thought, okay, what should I do? So I started researching and I came across some schools. Before then, I was researching about boot camps and then it was ridiculously expensive. It's not something I could afford. I couldn't do it. There was no way I could do it. I came across Flatiron, a lot of boot camps. I was downloading their curriculum. I was following their curriculum for any other, areas that I missed while trying to learn on my own. But again, most of the things I saw in the curriculum were most of the things I had already covered. So I said, okay, no problem, let's just carry on. So I went online, I started looking for one-to-one training because there was no way I was going to afford bootcamp ridiculous amount, and there was no way I was going to be going there every day for 5 days a week without pay, without nothing. Who will look after the kids and all of those stuff? There was no way. Okay, by the time, I think I was on student visa as well, so that was one of the things that made it difficult for me to secure my first job. So I started looking for how to learn more, how to add more projects, how to be more hands-on. So I came across some schools, some IT institutes in India, and I asked for one-to-one training to fit around my work-life balance and everything around me. And then I was told that they could do one-to-one. So how much was it? Very so it was something I could afford. I think it was around £350 or 300 or £350 thereabouts. And they even offered that I could pay instrumentally. I think it was two installments or three installments. I forgot to say, this time I was almost 7 months to 8 months, due, pregnant, nearly due to give birth. So I now subscribed to their training. While I was doing the training, within the month I was doing the training, I had the baby, and then I continued to do the training with the baby. When the baby is asleep, I will go and do the training very early in the morning. I think I was waking up between 4 and 5. It was an hour and a half training. So I'll do 4 a.m. to 5:30. Sometimes it's 5 o'clock to 6:30 before the kids wake up for school. I would have finished my training. So I did that for about 2 months. That was a very good experience, by the way, guys. Very good experience, because the teacher who taught me later became my mentor. So whenever I had issues at work, I could talk to him and say, okay, this is what I'm having challenge with. Please help me out. That was after I finished trying to sort out the issue. So that was a really good experience for me, I must say. So after that training, I was completely satisfied that I was ready. There was nothing else I could have done. There was no further areas for me to cover, though the area I was struggling with was the advanced JavaScript part. Then I came across another video on YouTube where they said you just need the basics to get your first job. But the good thing was I wasn't looking for a junior position. And I think I came across a video that advised not to look for a junior position, because whenever you look for a junior position, you will be regarded as a junior. So I wasn't looking for a junior position. I just said front-end developer. That was what I was looking for. The very first job I got was full stack JavaScript developer, and it was with a very big company. So when I got there, the developer there was a Java developer, and the JavaScript developer was leaving. So I was the replacement. So I did the online tests and everything, did the interview. Everything was fine. That was a fully remote position, and that was for £200 a day. I was really, really happy. I resigned from my other job. I got this other job, and that was how I got my foot at the door and became a web developer. So this is doable. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. All you need to do is determination. I remember even whilst I was learning, I'm cooking, I'm watching Code Still. Got to that point that I wasn't even coding. I just needed to listen to the concept. Then after cooking, eating everything, when the kids are in bed, I will start to code. That was really helpful, and I'm grateful that I took this opportunity. And I must tell you guys that ever since COVID, I've been working from home. I've never gone to any office, and I don't think I'm interested in any office work. Highest I will do is go there once in a month, or once in 2 months, or once in 3 months. Currently, I work for a company that only go to their office once in 3 months. It's completely doable, especially for a stay-at-home mom. It's something you can do. All you need is just learn one programming language, be determined. And one thing I would have done was follow a path and just continue on that path, because on the internet, there are so many resources around. So if care is not taken, you end up wasting your time reading through all those resources. But I'm happy that even though I bought all those many courses, I just followed a path, and then I created my project. One thing I also forgot to mention, the Indian guy that I got as a tutor gave me some projects which we walked through the class, and then I also built alongside and added to my project. And I was just applying for job with that my portfolio of projects, and that was how I became a developer. And I'm so grateful that I'm in this part, because I don't know what it would have been, especially during COVID. They laid off some of the teachers I worked with. I would have been one of them, and probably I would have been moving from one town to another looking for a lecturing position that suits me or something. I don't know, but I'm just grateful that this decision has yielded a very good result. In my next video, I'm going to tell you about the interviews and how the jobs were coming. Of course, this is the only job that I've seen that in a day I will get like 20, 15, 12 calls. Because why? There are less developers and there are more jobs. So my only advice is just learn how to code, just one programming language, and you will never be the same. I'm telling you, that is just my advice. Thank you guys. If you like this video and if you want more of this type of content, please let me know. Like, share, subscribe. It's very important to me at this point. I'm just growing my channel. Please subscribe and I'll bring you more content and how to help you get your foot out the door as a developer. All of this took me just 4 months, and by the 5th month I got my job. This is doable. Mind you, I had other side things doing, like I was teaching and I have a family, I do a lot of other things. But if you're really determined, please don't give up. It worked for me. I believe it will work for you. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.